Good evening. Welcome in Daily UPSC Editorial audio program. Legal home and hearth to a persecuted set. Big shift in the way we look at tra- trade. A tribe in the Western Ghat in need of a lifeline. Time to prohibit judges from joining politics. Now the full editorial. Legal home and hearth to a persecuted set. The Economic Times. CAA set turn for future citizenship widening. On Monday, the Modi government notified the Citizenship Amendment Act (CAA) rules, preparing for its implementation. With this move, Government of India make it easier for minorities from neighboring countries who came to India before December 31, 2014 to become citizen of this country, legitimizing citizenship of persecuted Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, and Parsi refugees from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan who left their countries for ours in the right thing to do. It behaves and buttress India's liberal credential, something this subcontinent's much partition history understands the value of very well. It was keeping this humanistic view in mind that then opposition Rajya Sabha member Manmohan Singh spoke in parliament in 2003 about India's moral obligation that if circumstances force people to seek refuge in our country, our approach to granting citizenship to these to these unfortunate persons should be more liberal. This can also help change perceptions harbored by many Indians who still view all immigrants, including those who can apply for citizenship under CA, as a burden. India is large, prosperous, and giving enough to share hearth and home with the persecuted of other countries. For those worried about CAA being a runabout tool to revoke citizenship of Indian Muslim citizens, Home Minister Amit Shah had reassured in February that CAA cannot snatch anyone's citizenship because there is no provision in the act. There is no reason why the law notified on the onset of Ramjan should discount his assurance. Indeed, Government of India should emphasize its assurance so that misinformation about welcoming their minorities at the cost of our minorities finds no succor by hyphenating CAA with the more problematic National Register of Citizens (NRC). India should at some point also find a way by which to provide the same legal protection it will now provide non-Muslim refugees to bona fide Muslim refugees who have lived in India for years. This would be the next thing to do. Big shift in the way we look at trade. The Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement (TEPA) that India signed on Sunday with the Europe Free Trade Association (EFTA), comprising Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and uh, Lich- Liechtenstein, signals a shift after a decade of dodging. Government of India has accepted that trade and sustainability are linked, and the former can contribute to sustainable development. The approach adopted in TEPA, promoting investment, competition, and growth without disregarding environmental, gender and labor concern, can serve as a template for other trade deals for India. For decades, India trumped sustainability in the order of priority because, from the developing countries' perspective, it created economic opportunities and pulled people out of poverty. India and other developing countries saw sustainability as a non-trade barrier for the rich world to keep it competitive advantage in a TEPA recognized that it is no longer possible or desirable to treat trade and sustainability in silos. For a developing country, eradicating poverty is a priority. Therefore, trade must contribute to sustainable development that ensure broad-based, sustained and inclusive economic growth along with social development and environmental protection. Mechanism to ensure no party takes measures that undermine this balance are hardwired into TEPA. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development also signals out international trade as a key policy instrument to contribute to all other SDGs. It defines international trade as an engine for inclusive economic growth and poverty reduction that contributes to the promotion of sustainable development. Yet, finding an equilibrium between trade and sustainability can't happen overnight. It will be work in progress. It will be a work in progress. A tribe in the Western Ghat in need of a lifeline. The Hindu issues such as alcohol abuse that are threatening to overwhelm the Pani Yeraba tribals in Karnataka need to be on the policy radar. Madhusudhan Bandi is a faculty member with the Gujarat Institute of Development Research, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. In Karnataka, section of the Western Ghat lies Makuta village under Betoli Gram Panchayat of Virajpet Taluka in Kodagu district. More specifically, the village falls under the Makuta Aranya Valaya, which is in the vicinity of the Kirti Reserve Forest. This area is in the Tala Kaveri subcluster, identified as one of the 10 World Heritage Sites in Karnataka and in a region of dense tropical evergreen forests that have remained undisturbed to be a large extent. The village has a uh, Girijan colony inhabited by the Fani Erava tribe in 2021 with the help of two local people including a Muslim Gram Panchayat member. All the 19 Erava households were able to successfully claim their land in the forest under the Forest Right Act in a joint survey conducted by the Forest Revenue and Social Welfare Departments. Officials found that the Eravas reside on 135 acre of forest land right from the time of their ancestors. When asked about the importance of acquiring forest rights, the tribals did not appear to be very enthusiastic because their dependence on the forest exclusively for their livelihood have been reducing over some time. The reason they gave was that when they found going into the forest to collect minor forest produce to be a tiresome job. Besides, selling the produce was no longer lucrative given the volatile market and also rampant exploitation by middlemen. This bitter experience led them to believe that for the same effort they would get better wages if they worked as labor. Hence, working as daily labor, causal or agriculture is now the primary occupation of these forest dwellers. The majority of them prefer to go to Ka- Kasargod in Kerala state, which is less than 10 kilometers from their habitation, as they are comfortable speaking Malayalam. Nevertheless, along with fuel, wood, and honey, the other minor forest produce they collect includes dhup, Vateria indica, incense, and shikakai soap pod. The quantity collected depends on the availability of the produce in the forest as well as the need to procure them. However, most of those who gather forest produce said that the amount they collected was often for their own consumption. There is no stockpiling, the scourge of addiction. However, there is an issue that is a cause for worry when this writer research visited them to understand their socio-economic status after the implementation of the Forest Right Act. Almost the entire community was found to be in an intoxicated state due to alcohol abuse. According to non-tribal locals and other in the area, they picked the habit in the city, seeing other laborers doing the same in the evenings after returning home to unwind with the pain from the day's hard work. Not surprisingly, the tribals in the village were not in a position to recall how they got into this. Even adolescent children had taken to this voice. This was affected children's attendance in school too. Intoxication has slowly turned the community's life into into one of a miserable existence. As a result, the community is found to be uniform about happenings in the external world around them. Given this development, important documents such as ration card, Aadhaar cards, voter ID cards, or even government documents such as rights given under Forest Rights Act have to be kept in the safe custody of trustworthy non-tribal members. Officials from the Department of Social Welfare working in this area have also been concerned about this issue because they find the state of the habitants to be disheartening. A case worker who expressed deep empathy for them said that efforts are being made to conduct a de-addiction drive in another habitation in Nehru Galete Gram Panchayat in Somwarpet Taluka in the same district. A headman of the Yarwa tribe expressed sadness that a number of his relatives had lost their lives due to addiction. He cited this as the cause behind the population in this hamlet reducing to help. He hoped that good sense would prevail and that that the tribals would lead a voice-free life. It was the same story, but with varying degrees in every tribal village that this writer research visited in the Western Ghats region in Karnataka during the study. This article is drawn from a larger research study titled "Tribals, Forest Rights, and Heritage Conservation: A Study of Western Ghats in Karnataka," is sponsored by the Indian Council of Social Science Research, New Delhi. Non-government organization activists and government officials working in the jurisdiction of the villages have said that such issues do not get enough attention in the policy matters in the state. A view also expressed by the leader of some local tribal communities such as the Hasalaru, Go, Gaudalu, and Jenu Kurubas. According to them, only a few communities which are numerically dominant among the scheduled tribes have been gaining benefits over recent years. In every walk of life, they express the wish that the government should consider these kind of social issues seriously and take steps that are in the best interest of those groups. It is only then they believe that existential concerns such as addictions, haunting forest dwellers can be addressed effectively. Time to prohibit judges from joining politics. The act of judges of constitutional courts taking the potential plunge even after they resign should be interpreted as a breach of the oath. Kaliswaram Raj is a lawyer at the Supreme Court of India. Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay recently resigned as a judge of the Calcutta High Court and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP). He said that he was approached by the BJP and he also approached the BJP. During his tenure as judge, he declared that henceforth he will be a party soldier. While he was judge, Mr. Gangopadhyay was often in the news for the wrong reason. He allegedly gave an interview to a TV channel criticizing the West Bengal government and speaking about the school job for bribe case. He created controversy by defying an order of a division bench. Sometimes he had runnings with lawyers and even fellow judges. While dealing with one of these cases pertaining to Mr. Gangopadhyay's conduct, a bench of Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chanchud and Justice P.S. Narasimha rightly said that judges have no business giving TV interviews on pending matters. The Chief Minister criticized Mr. Gangopadhyay after his resignation, says his judgment will always remain questionable. After his resignation, saying his judgments will always remain questionable. Former Union Minister Arun Jaitley had once advocated a cooling off period for judges, saying judgments are influenced by a desire of a post retirement job. When Confronted with this suggestion, Mr. Gangopadhyay retorted that there is no rule to this effect. He added that he never gave any political judgment which was politically biased. No legal war. A member of the Constituent Assembly, K.T. Shah, has suggested that judges of Constitutional Court should be legally barred from occupying executive posts, but the Constituent Assembly did not find favor with this. Implementing external rules to control the judicial behavior of judges would be anti-ethical to the idea of judicial independence. This is why India has not legislated over the judicial conduct of judges of constitutional courts. Acceptance of judgeship is often an act of sacrifice for lawyers as it involves loss of freedom. Restraint becomes the norm, which also reduces the space for personal aspirations. Yet, a judge of the constitutional court gets power and privilege which others do not enjoy. According to Article 217, read the Article 124(4) of the Constitution. The only way to remove a judge is the almost unworkable method of un, unworkable method of impeachment by Parliament. Article 215 declares the High Court to be a court of record with contempt power which the judges could invoke. The jurist Alan Dershowitz was right when he said that judges are the weakest link in our system of justice and they are also the most protected. Judicial conduct. Paragraph 8 of the third schedule of the Constitution demands a judge designate to swear in inter alia that he will perform his duties without fear or favor, affection or ill will. The Bangalore Principles of Judicial Conduct 2002 gained international acceptance as indicated by the Judicial Integrity Group. The declaration enlists certain judicial values including independence, impartiality, integrity, propriety, equality, competence, and diligence. It emphasizes the need to eradicate biases and prejudice in the decision making process. It asks judges to ensure that they conduct both in and out of the court maintains and enhances the confidence of the public, the legal profession, and litigants in the impartiality of judge and to the judiciary. Clause 2.4 of of the declaration is against the judge making comments that might reasonably be expected to affect the outcome of a case. It says that the judge shall disqualify himself or herself from participating in any proceedings in which the judge is unable to decide the matter impartially. The code also says a judge shall conduct himself or herself in a way that is consistent with the dignity of the judicial office. The U.S. Judge Simon Rifkind remarked that the courtroom sooner or later becomes the image of the judge and that it will rise or fall to the level of presiding judge. The Supreme Court in C. Ravichandran Iyer versus Justice A.M. Bhattacharjee 1995 said to keep the stream of justice clean and pure, the judge must be endowed with sterling character, im, impeccable integrity, and upright behavior. In All India Judges Association Policies Union of India 1991, the court spoke of society's expectation from judicial officers. These have been similar instances in the past. In 1967, Chief Justice Koka Subbarao resigned to contest the presidential elections, and in 1983, the Supreme Court Judge Behrul Islam resigned to get elected as the member of the Rajya Sabha. But past aberrations do not justify present wrongs. They are no longer good or precedents or practices given the globally accepted principle of the Bangalore Declaration, which were made later. An opportunity. A present episode therefore gives an opportunity to the Chief Justice of India and the Supreme Court to investigate the matter more seriously and evolve methods to avert such judicial aberrations. It could lead to one of the most awaited steps towards reforming the judiciary. The top court must expressly prohibit judges of constitutional court from taking the political plunge political plunge even after they resign. Such acts should be interpreted as a breach of the oath. Read in the light of Indian precedents and the accepted norms on judicial conduct. There is a need for judge-made law on the topic since Parliament will hardly act on this issue. Thank you.